Hello and welcome to Developers, otherwise known as Devx5. I'm your host, Ian Jennings. This is my co-host, Chris Chinchilla.
Sorry for any delays. They were entirely my fault.
We're getting there. We're
yeah.
improving.
This is still only number 3 in this stream, and I've been scheduling a lot of calls, and I think I mixed up some links, and then Ian was left hanging in the ether, in the digital ether.
I feel like I'm running low on Zoom and video call gas. Like I'm just about had it with them, where I'm like just blocking off days. I'm just like, there's no calls today. Like we need.
Yeah, it would be nice to do that, but I don't know. I think it's changing now. I'm actually in a like audio visual professionals stream that happens. Well, not a stream, but like an office hours thing that happens every day. And for months and months and months and months, they've been talking about how online is the future of all events. And in the past month, because most of them are in the States, they've all just like vanished and gone back to doing in-person work again.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. It's like, so that thing you said a couple of months ago, okay, all right, fine. But it's good. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Zoom or Restream or video, really. Oh, we're actually here to talk about something more old school, more traditional in terms of content. And a world that actually I spent a long time in, so I'm quite fascinated to see how this one comes together.
We are here to talk about Wagtail CMS, which I took one look at and said, wow, this is Python and Django. I don't know any of these technologies. And Chris let me know that I was going to be driving today, so it should be pretty exciting. And he also was interested to see how it worked on Windows.
Yeah, that was actually the reason why I wanted to drive. I'm just going to share my screen very briefly to just talk through a couple of quick things that I was interested in pointing out. But I wanted you to do it because you are a Windows user, and Python is one of those languages that sometimes Windows can not be so good on. And I just wanted to see if those guardrails have been put in place or not. But the first thing, so it's Wagtail.io, and I come from a long CMS background. Actually, it's funny because I started out with Drupal, and they've got this this line on the front page. Having used Drupal almost exclusively as my main tool of choice for a while now, which I found kind of funny. And then I spent time in companies like Contentful, the sort of Jamstack style content management systems now, and static site generators and things. But I actually know some of the people who work on Plone quite well, which is another Python-based content management system. So I was interested to see how this fits together. It's one of the first things that came to me when I looked at the website is, I was like, is it open source? I think it's open source. Because there's actually got quite a lot of nice splits between the commercial and the non-commercial. And then I went very, very briefly. It's quite interesting because there's this here. It's still Wagtail and this actually gets a little bit similar to our first episode with Twilio, where you have this very, very simple stuff here. But then actually if you go into the 10-minute guide, I feel like there's a lot that's left out of here that's important. Things like creating a virtual environment in Python, which is sometimes can be a pain. Things like needing graphics libraries for manipulating images, which is pretty normal in a CMS. And things like that, which I feel like, so if we had just done that, would it have worked? I don't know.
Let's go for it. Let's try it.
Yeah, okay. I'll jump out and let you jump in, and let's see how you go.
Okay.
All right. Get the, whoa, here we go.
There is
Infinite screens of doom.
And all right, so here we are. That's the same getting started guide that we just saw. And let me hide that notification. All right, so if I want to just get started, see the features, get Wagtail.
I think you should just try these 7 lines first.
Yeah, let's just go for it. I'm going to try
Python installed. Might be the other.
I do. I just checked. I have
okay.
Python installed.
Okay, well, that's a good start. That's actually a pretty good start.
script SQL format exe is installed, which is not in the path. Consider this. Okay. And is that it?
I don't know. I didn't get these same messages, but let's still go.
Switching back to Windows has been interesting for sure. Could not install package due to an OS error. No such file directory, app data local packages, Python software foundation, Python 3.8, local cache, Wagtail test migrations. I don't even know where to go from that. Should we just go from here?
That's kind of why I was interested to see what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a feeling this might be the case.
I do have Ubuntu.
That's just cheating, though.
Is it? This is modern. This is modern Windows dev, right?
True.
Is it just Python-V? That was not right. Python V. Python.
Oh,
okay. So I'd actually have to install Python. We're okay. What do you think? I don't know.
I'm intrigued.
I don't know what the better choice would be here.
I'm having a look because if you go onto that second page that I was looking at, it talks about creating virtual environments, which
let's see.
Actually, I don't think it would make any difference. I don't think it could make any difference because you don't have any other Python projects, so it feels like a different problem.
Let's try Ubuntu.
I didn't get that error, so that's one thing.
I don't have pip, but I have. Is it pip 3?
Pip should come with Python normally. Actually, no, pip 3 and pip. I think that's just a Mac thing normally, but I'm not 100%. Oh, maybe not. Ignore me.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Yeah, the Python. I did play with Python in Python 2. I did some stuff with it, but when Python 3 happened and there was that whole you have Python 2019. Hopefully it can.
Dependency hell. Perfect. This is why I threw you in the deep end. Because I knew this would happen, and I wanted to see.
Are you sure? Installing collected packages.
Okay.
This is quite the exciting stream we have here.
Oh, you would not believe how many streams I've done that have been usually JavaScript dependency errors. Or waiting for Kubernetes clusters to get started. It's usually
I'm at the level of JavaScript development where, like, when there's dependency errors, I actually go into the npm packages and change the dependencies and stuff, and then commit. Like, I just brute force it.
Well, we could just switch to the Mac and see. I don't know, because I'm not sure what's going on here.
I think this will work. I think it's just silently installing these other things, and there's no indication of anything happening.
I've got way more indications. This is strange, though.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
There we go. That was a strange moment of silence. Okay, cool. All right. That was line one.
We just, let's split our stuff up here. Let's see if it made it to the path. Hey.
Okay, cool.
Okay, my site was created.
I should actually follow along from this point on. Just
cd my site. Okay, what's actually in here? Manage my site requirements, search. Can I do this? Oh, I used to be able to do that. Okay. Okay, let's try pip install.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, pip 3 install? Weird.
That can vary somewhat. I'm not entirely sure even what.
Python. This is weird. I wonder if it's because I have 2 versions installed that I have to migrate all these.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah. This is something that has plagued Python for some time. I think it's getting slightly better, but yeah.
On 3, and I'll just
Mine has been relatively seamless so far. I'm up to line 6 out of 7 with relative ease. Look at us, both with our clacky keyboards.
Yeah, right. That's like, I want to let you know that I have a mechanical keyboard.
Okay.
Django using settings, start development server 8,000, quit the server 8,000. Hey!
Oh, you got it. Good. So we both got to that same point. Okay.
Wagtail docs.
I'll get mine going as well. Just whoa.
I actually don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm just kind of exploring.
Yeah, I was interested now to see. So after that, if you go to the long version, it talks you through virtual environments and things like that, which are kind of expected. Creating databases, which is much the same. Creating an admin user, starting the server, much the same. And then there's actually an admin area, apparently, which is not mentioned on the in the quick start. If you go to / oh yeah, you can see.
Yeah, I think I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I upload an image.
Yeah, that may be where it fails because of those other dependencies. That's why I was.
No, I think we're good. I think I actually. Oh, yeah. Let's see if that works. What kind of images can I share? This is the dangerous. No, that's not appropriate. I don't know what I would be choosing there. Okay, this feels too dangerous to me. I feel unprepared. Upload a document. Let's see. Okay.
Upload a document.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, what is a document?
I mean, I'm going to take it quite literally and see what happens.
Okay, no pages have been created. I guess I'm curious at this point, like, if there is this whole admin interface, why is this a dev tool at all?
Okay, so that actually starts to go into the in the bigger tutorial. We can come to that in a second. That does involve doing some Python, but and this is actually if we revisit the homepage of the project, it does actually have developers. Oh no, I thought.
So yeah, I'm like, why did I just make I made a title. I think this is, if I publish this or preview it, it's not here. Like, it's not in the, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to edit this post. Like, I figured out the blog engine. I'm trying to edit the post, but like the actual template it comes with doesn't include.
This is common. I encountered this with one of my hands-on videos as well, where this is kind of expected. I get the feeling the long tutorial maybe goes through this. I might actually just dive into that in a second. I'm just creating a page.
Yeah, do you want to go do the long tutorial? Or should I keep thrashing around here?
All right, I'll take the screen. Okay. I'm gonna have screen of doom for a second.
I thought I would think there'd be a list of pages. You know what I mean?
There will be, I think.
Here's your pages.
Yeah, I'm just going.
Let's see. Maybe the getting started has install Wagtail.
Let me just go.
Yeah, you can steal. Do I need to stop sharing, or have you done that already?
You're still just on the small thumb, but it makes it easier just to come back. Here we go. So I'm going to create a page, and then I think the tutorial starts to go through that. But let's so title, test, classic. Save draft. Actually, no, I'm going to save it live, I think, maybe. Publish. It has a moderator workflow, which is quite nice. This is not, we should actually probably get more into the developer side in a second, but so I can view it live. It's not even there. That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, right?
That's interesting. Okay. Let's just double check a couple of things. So it says type homepage. Interesting. Promote. Okay, that's search engines and things like that. So there is here showing menus. Let's see, that might be one thing. Publish. Keeps taking me back out of the edit page, which is slightly annoying. Settings. Okay. Privacy, public. So I would hope that now I've made that public, it should be. Who did I? There was. Or not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Okay.
interesting at the
All
of
right.
the
Well, that's sort of a stumbling block, but let's continue here. So this is kind of where we got to if you followed this extended tutorial. And then out of the box, the homepage defines a blank homepage model along with a migration that creates a homepage. Migrations are a concept that come from Ruby on Rails from memory, which is interesting to kind of revisit them. Okay. It's weird because it goes quite fast from. Oh, actually no. I suppose doing all the py-in stuff is pretty familiar to Python people. But let's. I'm a little. To be honest with you, I'm reading this and I'm a little bit unclear about what I'm doing though.
yeah. I think that we both tried this natural progression of like just playing around making a page, which didn't work. It wasn't documented. It wasn't part of the like that would be where I would realize that I got the value, right? It's like okay, I made
exactly.
and it's kind of like they're just diving into modifying this, and it makes me think that this is a very engineer heavy tutorial, right?
True.
Like they're like, look at how cool it is. You can start modifying the homepage, you know?
But more fundamentally, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I don't really know what I'm doing. Why am I adding a body field? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you're creating a homepage and configuring Wagtail to use it, but there's already a home. Edit the home models and add a body field to them. I guess body is going to be, I think you're going to be able to modify it. Oh, we can't modify the page because it hasn't been hooked up to it yet.
Oh.
So that
still
title you modified, yeah. The title you modified is the title of the tab, I think. See how it's called? I think it was called test when you saved it. And there's no body field to modify, so it's actually starting out earlier than we thought it was. I think now it says home, but I think before it might have said test. I don't know if you'd like.
Yes, you're right. Okay, so this actually is my page. Yes, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, we should PM the Wagtail people just from this. So
this is and that takes me back to that.
Yeah, we're gonna increase the conversion rate like 2,000%.
Oh. I like your optimism here, but okay, good. So let's add the body. So this means I'm going to have to jump into some.
They need a thing that's like you can't edit the page yet because there's no body, like a giant notice, you know.
All right, I've got a bad feeling this is going to. Oh no, there we go. Good. I had a bad feeling.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Jump into a different window there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. I'll just lay these out. So home models. Media my site. I just want to click around everything. That's the problem. This looks quite different. Modified as follows to add a body. Okay, I feel like this is adding a lot more than kind of what it alludes to, but let's just do all of it, I guess. Okay, body is defined as a rich text field, which would be matching to actually no, there was no body. So this is the model. Right. So we're actually editing the actual content type right now, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that, and then we make migrations. So yeah, this is very much from my memory, my distant memory of how Ruby would work, Rails would work as well. Yeah, oh yeah, I've got that. Each time, wow. So you can now edit the home page. Right, okay. So we just jumped ahead here, and that was a problem. We got too ahead of ourselves. If we'd followed the tutorial, it actually might have made sense. It wanted us to edit the page that already existed, not create a new one. Oh, I thought I already did that. Oh no, I missed the second line. There we go. So far, is it our fault or their fault? So far, I think we've actually just caused our own problems. So.
Run Python min, make migration, defeat migrations, and migrate to execute migrations, update the database model changes. You must run above commands each time you make changes to the model. Now edit the home page.
This comes from a slightly more traditional, old. Well, I say that, but that's, I think, because I've been out of dynamic content management system world for so long that I think of it as being traditional, but it's probably not. It's just the way it is.
Okay, I know the one fix they need. That heading that says extend the homepage model, it needs to say edit the homepage. That's all it needs to do. It says how to edit the homepage.
So here's the homepage. Yes. So that page we just created was kind of a waste, but now we can actually add a body.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello world. Save. Publish. All right. Okay. Right. So there's a whole bunch of things here. So I think actually if we'd followed the tutorial, we would have got there in the end. No, still not.
Well, that still says home too. It doesn't say test, right? Which it should.
Well, where's my text? Where's my text?
Yeah. Well, that's what it was working before, but if you click on View Live, is it not updated?
Oh no. Again, we need to read on. Page template now needs to be updated to reflect the changes made. So we're just being a little bit too.
Yeah, like give us the rendering.
Why is it not working? Why is it not working?
No, I think it's unfair because it's telling you, hey, the site's been updated. Like, click here to preview, and you click here, and it's like, oh no, you got to run a command.
To contain the following, so get rid of all of this, I guess. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. And yeah, this starts to look very familiar. This kind of, I'm not sure what the templating language is, but most static site generators and things all use this very similar stuff. Now, do we have to?
Handlebars.
Is this going to work automatically? Let's see. There we go. Hey!
Okay.
But now we've lost all the shiny niceness.
I think no. Honestly, I think the directions are out of order because I think the problem is that when you edit the homepage, or maybe we're trying to edit the home. Yeah, you cannot edit the homepage in the in-minute area. And then when you do that, it triggers an update that says, hey, go preview it. But you haven't modified it to a template yet, so you can't. It's actually out of order. I think they need to put that code sample above, you know?
Yeah. It's actually bringing back a lot of memories to me of doing Drupal and even Rails and things like that. This is how it used to be. If you come from this roll your own CMS world, this is not that unfamiliar. But if you don't come from that world, it's a little confusing to begin with. And actually, I think Joomla, if that even still exists, I'm not sure, that's how it used to work as well. WordPress, no, I don't think so. And this is what Drupal became.
Yeah.
It's kind
maybe
of
a clash of mindsets.
And even if you look at one of the API-driven ones like Contentful, it actually does something very similar, just in a different sort of way. You have a model, you have a view, you have an editor. Like, actually, it's not that unusual. I think I've just personally been in static site generator for so long, I forgot about this. Let's see this bit. So the root level is where you can add new sites. Oh, new sites. Oh, interesting. So you can have multiple sites.
I feel like you should try to upload an image and see if you get those dependency problems.
Yeah, okay. I actually have them installed, so I probably.
Oh, do you? Okay.
But let's see what happens. Yeah. Well, I don't think I have the Python wrappers installed, so you can see. Again, I got a whole bunch of images here that I don't know if I should.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just random screenshots.
Let's just go to my
credit card
photos.
payment.
Oh, come on. Oh, okay. What? Huh?
Oh, I was able to upload an image, no problem.
No. This is my Mac being weird. Okay. I'll just take a risk on. I think I know what most of this stuff is. So, yeah, there we go. It's nothing to worry about. So update. But now what? Oh, well, where is it? Is it there? Oh, yeah, it's there. So usually those libraries are for resizing and things like that. I don't know if.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's so. This is not really a developer feature, but this is something that used to drive people crazy when I was in CMS world in the past, like because you'd always have these auto cropping algorithms, and everyone was like, "Oh, but you cropped off the person's head" or something like that. It's like, "Oh, a computer did it," you know. So drag a box. Cool. I like that. That's kind of nice. Yeah. And I guess we can just insert it from. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, you're right though. This is not really developer stuff at the moment. We should go into that side. So image. There we go. Yeah, that seems to work. Image is decorative. What does that mean?
Yeah. I'm going to look into the details of this. How did you find this company, by the way?
Actually, some time ago when I was asking about companies or projects that had good developer experience, this plus a handful of others were the ones that people mentioned a couple of times to me. So it's been on the list for a little while, and I just thought it was time to take a look.
It is a 7-year-old project.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because that said, the Python community generally tends to be a quite good developer community. Obviously, this is a more complex Python project probably, but I think anything built in Python benefits from that usually, and it's fairly mature.
Yeah, this is 7 years old. It was developed by an agency called Torchbox.
There you
go. There are 9 developers working on the main GitHub repo. NASA uses it.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Yeah. For the open NASA open data portal.
So I can also see. Here we go. So this is interesting. There are app concepts. Oh no, I don't think this to me feels like there's actually like a pre-confined app I can install, but I don't think it's that. I think it's just an app we're calling blog. And then you can do similar things. So create the model, which is an intro. I think a title is obviously just by default. Then the view. I mean, this is all fairly standard affair. And then, that's the model and a template, Yeah, it's pretty normal, I think, there.
Open control book.
Yeah, pages and things. Yeah, so this is where we would start to go. So, I mean, actually, this tutorial is pretty thorough. We jumped around a little bit, which was our own kind of fault, maybe. I think possibly because we jumped from that 7-step to the more complex one. And the 7-step one maybe left out a bit. You're not sure what to do next, so you just start clicking around, and then you come to this and you realize you've done a few things in the wrong order. But this tutorial is actually quite thorough, and if we'd read it properly, I think it would have worked quite well.
I think from here, it seems straightforward. Like, okay, we've got this template rendering engine, we've got the editor. The editor seems simple enough. What would be an advanced thing we could do here? Like,
I actually quite like some of this query set. This starts to remind me of some of the things you can do. Actually, like, it's been a long time since I've looked at WordPress, but I do remember WordPress having a lot of these kind of pre-built query type things in the loop, which is what my memory of what WordPress development was like hijacking the loop all the time. I think Drupal has similar concepts, but I haven't really used Drupal since version 7, which I know has changed quite a lot since then. So I'm not really sure what it has now, but things like this I quite like. This sort of nice built querying to get simple representations of filters. I think coming into your world, I wonder if it has like a content API. That would be interesting to see. Yeah, this is a very thorough.
Oh, you mean if there's an automatic like REST API or something?
Yeah, because this is something that the CMS world has got into a lot recently. This kind of headless CMS. There we go, Wagtail API.
Yeah, I just pulled that up as well.
There we go.
You know what I would do is just use the API and just call it down and render it, on the page and like.
This is a perfect legitimate path to follow these days. It's
inner HTML equals post body, just
have a look,
and then run a pre-render on it or something to get it SEO.
Okay, I guess this should. this should work relatively easily.
Oh, this is interesting. They actually have their ad supported. So the Wagtail docs, I'm getting a retool ad.
Well, I have. If I turn my ad blocker off, then that'll probably work.
Oh, and their own and their own. It's interesting too. Their own docs are powered by Read the Docs.
Oh, really? Well, that's where the ad's coming from then. So, yep.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, because that's how that's actually a Read the Docs ad then.
Oh,
that's how they.
Okay. Why would Wagtail not use Wagtail for docs? That's the question.
It's a very good question that I don't have the answer to.
Do they support? I mean, like we wanted to build this interface, right? Like, do they support code samples? Do they support like a nested sidebar?
Nested sidebars, yes. I saw that as we were scrolling down. Code samples would be an editor thing I could have a look at. I was just going to very quickly try this API because I will unfortunately need to leave the call in about 10 minutes to jump on to another one. But I'm just trying to figure out what the I guess it's just localhost, I suppose. Sometimes I literally just forget what how to type curl.
I've never learned curl. I've never learned. It's like regular expressions.
No, curl. Well, I was actually listening to a podcast, the Changelog podcast, with the creator of curl the other day, and he was actually saying, you don't need to type so much. Everyone types so many arguments with curl. I've actually made it so it has sensible defaults. You don't have to type so much. She kind of liked. Let's see.
Yeah.
How to connect to local? I guess I need a port. What's the port?
8,000.
Yes. Well, strange that that's not mentioned there. Okay. I'm pretty sure we have. Depending how the API is being configured, I wonder if we've forgotten to.
It doesn't look like you got an error, right? Maybe it's just your curl command's not outputting the body or something.
That's weird. Why did I? Oh, I do. I think I actually realized that when I turned my ad blocker on and off, I might have caused a few issues. And if there was a slight hiccup in the stream as well, I do apologize. I will know not to do that again. So we need to enable it. Here we go. In your Django project settings, I am not a Django person. I don't know where to put that. Okay. Oh, settings.py. Settings.py. I don't
see it. I see my site settings, so maybe it's in there.
I'm wondering if this is because it's a Python module. I did see that it was possible to embed it in other Python projects. I've got a bad feeling that's maybe what this is trying to do, because I don't see any settings. My site settings, maybe? This could be it. Here we go. Yes, this looks promising. Okay, right. So here, okay. I don't know if we need to restart or anything, but there's never any harm in doing that, I suppose.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to monetize this with the hosting service like a lot of these other ones have done,
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason.
I think they're just a very,
Get API 301. 301. What's a 301 error?
Redirect.
Redirect. Where have I gone now? I've gone into some pages. API version 2 pages. I don't exactly know. Maybe we've missed something else in the config. I don't know. Yeah, I feeling like this is more complicated than I was hoping for.
Mm.
Or configure endpoints. Here we go. See, again, we didn't read. This is me, a documentation person, not having read the docs. It's actually.
So where was the settings flag? Because I don't see it in my project either.
So it was actually. So I think this is where the complication comes from. Is there's two ways you can use Wagtail. There's the way when it's just its own thing, and there's a way when it's part of another application. And the documentation here is written when it's part of another application, and this is not. So here we have this settings folder, and this is a fairly familiar structure you get in a lot of content platforms these days, like base config, overridden config for dev setup, overridden config for production setup.
Yeah.
What I'm a little bit confused about is now I'm seeing like create another file. This is where I'm getting a bit lost. Do I have to do this somewhere else, or? Oh, I see. And then, yeah, okay, right here. So, okay, this is actually not too complicated. This will probably be the last thing I have time to quickly do, but let's just do this. I think a lot of it's coming from not being so familiar with the Python world, which is fine. So we want to create a new file at this level. I've got so many subfolders here. I'm a little bit lost as to where I am actually inside my site. Okay, so you do. I mean, it's not really enabled by default. It's kind of more like hooks to all sorts of things that you then have to add in, which is fine. That's fine. I mean, that's not a bad thing. It's just yep. So
next registry girl, so Django can. This is more like building an API, not enabling.
Well, it's kind of exposing it, maybe. I don't know. From .api, I'm guessing that's a Python kind of shorthand for saying import it from a file nearby. URL patterns here. And then ensure that the API router lines appear above the default. Okay. So we add that inside the same thing, I guess. Oops. All right. Oh, that is reloading by default, but
oh, that's nice.
Okay. Oops, hello.
Repath is not defined.
Repath is not defined.
This is cut off by the logo that we have on the stream, so it's hard to see.
Oh, I see. I mean,
yeah. Repath. Oh, interesting. It's repath. What is repath?
Oh, I see. It put this
above the default serving root.
Do you mean just like?
Is it just path?
I'm not like that. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. If in doubt, move it around.
There's no way.
Repath is not defined. I don't know. I may just try it without it. Okay, that's better.
It looks like, I would guess that it's just called path now. I think it looks like the docs might be outdated because I Googled repath and it came up with the docs for 2.7 and it said, this is not the.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, you're right, because everything else is just path. Yes, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I'm still getting a 301 though, which is. Oops. Okay.
Oh, whatever.
No, I'm still getting a 301. I think I probably have to authenticate or something, maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, yeah, gonna kind of need to wrap up anyway. I don't know. Getting started was pretty easy.
As long as you're not on Windows.
Well, yeah, okay. Oops, hello. What the hell? Oh, that's because your screen is still there. There we go.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sounds like...
Yeah, I mean, Windows is always... it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a problem there, I don't know. I mean, yeah, getting started was relatively easy, and then the documentation was actually quite good. It seemed to be very easy to skip things, and maybe that's a comment. I'm not sure. Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the docs could have a better flow in terms of like what I'm seeing in the UI and sort of how it works. The default page, and it looks like they just had a version change where they changed that path and docs weren't updated. So it's common stuff.
And it's an open source project largely. So yeah. Okay. Well, that was Wagtail Io. If you need a CMS and you like Python and you're in the Python world, then I guess it could be worth considering, or adding a CMS to another Python project, as we kind of saw there. It could be worth considering.
I saw that blog.google.com runs that. So
I saw that too.
NASA, Google, some good projects on there.
Yeah, it's true. And there's a nice editing workflow, which is good as well. Twilio, apparently. There we go.
Oh, really?
It's kind of strange.
Wow.
The NHS. Yeah, actually quite a lot. It's always hard with these links. You're never entirely sure which bit it might be and stuff like that. I mean, it's quite a lot here. Yeah. No, it's just some... I think with a little bit of config. I mean, we were getting into some more kind of complicated topics relatively quickly. So Well, all right. Ian, how can people stay in touch with you and what you're up to?
You can follow me on Twitter at Ian Jennings, and the E is a 3. And my company is Haxor DX, HAXOR. What about you?
You can find me at chrischinchilla.com or at chrischinch on Twitter, doing various things. I'm actually about to do an interview stream in 3 minutes. So,
Who are you interviewing?
The co-founder of Solo.io, which is a service mesh. I actually interviewed her a couple of years ago on a conference floor, and she was incredibly enthusiastic, and I'm really looking forward to speaking to her again in a place where I can actually hear her. So, so jump over to my YouTube channel in the next 2 minutes if you've been watching and want to see more of me. All right. And I don't know if you want to sign us off.
Signing off, this was developers, otherwise known as Devx5. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with another API. Message us on Twitter if you want the API to be your API.
Or not.
Yeah, don't ever review this API, please. All right.
See you in 2 weeks, everybody.